I'm gonna break the man code and I'm gonna read the instructions. Got some pipes, got some valves, got some more pipes. Right, today we're working south of the river down in Bexley. I'm giving my friend Vaillant from One Plumbing a hand. Got a Vaillant 938 going downstairs. So there's a lot of work going on in this place at the moment. Pretty much redoing the whole place, but my office for the next 2 days. So there's one half of the boiler, the other half's upstairs. As you can see, height-wise, I can probably fit in between the joists, but if I get too close to one, I might give myself concussion. But he's boarded all this out. I can hang off of that, so that frame is solid. I'm going to be taking the flue out through this air brick. Now this is ground level there, so we're going to knock the bricks out, try and get the flue out through there, and then we're going to have to bring it up and then out. We're not going to be doing a plume kit, we're going to be actually doing the whole flue going out so that it's all in the same air pressure zone. We've got our cold main here. I believe one of these are our flow and returns, and then this is our hot. We've got some, I think, yeah, there's a filling loop there, so I'm assuming that is for the, that's one of the heating pipes as well. Yeah, see, that's coming off of there, going round to there. V, what's going on? These are heating pipes, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Flow, so that's our flow, that's our return. Hot, cold, and gas. You're going to bring a new gas one, isn't it? So luckily the gas meter is not too far away. It's literally just here in that corner. So V's going to do a gas run. Which way are you going to be bringing it? Just around this way?
Yeah. I'll bring it next to this pipe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because there's going to be a toilet here later.
Oh, okay.
That's away.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, so that's going to come through here. So yeah, so the plan for today is get the boiler done today. Well, get as much of the boiler done today as possible, and then do the power flush tomorrow. So it's not going to be a completed job over the next 2 days, not a fully completed job, because as you can see, there's still a lot of work going on in this property. But main thing is we want to get the boiler piped up, we want to get it filled up, pressure test it, flush the system, and then obviously V can do the commissioning and stuff once he's ready to do so. So I've never done a 938 before. I've heard that it can be quite fiddly, especially joining the tanks at the back to the boiler at the front. So it's going to be a new experience for me. So follow me on this journey and watch my struggles. Excuse the noise. V's trying to break out the next part of the air brick there. But in the meantime, so these are the Vaillant 938. So it comes in 2 pieces. You've got the main boiler there and you've got the tanks at the back here. So first we've got to hang this on, and then the main boiler then gets hung on the bracket, on the tank itself. So like I said, I've never done one before. I'm going to get it open and let's see. Right, V's making a start on the gas run, so he's punched a hole through there, gas pipes ready to come through. We managed to sort the flue out as best as we can, so we've knocked out the air brick there. We've just used the terminal as a guide to see where it's going to go, but we're going to have an extension going up there, extension going up, extension going that way, and then the terminal on the side of the wall. So the bracket is on. Luckily there's another, don't know if you can see now, it's going to be too dark, but there's another batten of wood behind there, which is actually quite lucky. So these screws, they've gone straight through the ply and straight into the back as well. So because this boiler is quite deep, we want to make sure that it's going to be solid on there. But that ply is solid, that's solid, that's not going nowhere. So now we're going to try and get this boiler on the wall. Oh! The washers, it's right, it's not all the screws, it's just a few of the washers. And that is on. The only thing is, I can't see where the flue would line up. So if the flue's there, yeah, that should be all right. Yeah, that's the side of the boiler. Yeah. Side of the boiler, cool.
Yeah, did mark the brackets, didn't we? So.
Boiler will literally just go straight on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go get the actual boiler.
Yeah. Get the boiler on. I think I'll go get a dust sheet so we can just sit.
That's fine. Alright, let's get my pathways clear.
For now.
Okay.
To the left a little, and then up, and then down.
Yeah? Yeah, flue is fine. Wow. Wow. That's massive.
That's why I didn't want to bring no pipes across
No.
until the boiler was on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know where and how we're going to run it.
Jeez. That is a lot deeper than I imagined it to be. Alright.
It's a big boy.
It is. Right, boiler's on. I genuinely did not realise how deep it was. Even though I've worked on them, I've never installed one, so getting it on the wall, I was shocked at how deep it actually is. So, like I said, because I've never done one of these before, I'm going to be reading the instructions to do all the piping, because obviously it's not a standard Ecotec Plus. We've got a lot of jiggery pokery to do underneath here. So I'm going to break the man code and I'm going to read the instructions. Got some pipes, got some valves, got some more pipes. I believe it says on here, I've got to take out the flow turbine inside the boiler and replace it with another straight pipe. I believe that's because we've got the storage tanks in the back, so flow rate is probably going to work differently because it's not a standard combi. So I've got to make those adjustments, and yeah, I'm literally just going to pipe it as I go along. We're following instructions step by step. So yeah, let's see how we get on. Okay, so like I said, I'm following the instructions on how to do this because it's not your standard Ecotec Plus. So the first pipe it says to do is the gas. So I've got the gas pipe in. Then it's saying to do the hot and cold connections, which normally used to going straight on the boiler there, but this time we've got two tails which need to go onto there. Then we've got another piping kit which goes from there onto wherever the connections are. So in here it's showing I've got to use this 15mm tail with the cold inlet valve, so that goes on to the back bit there. And then I've got this, which is a standard hot pipe connection you get with the Ecotec Plus. That's going to go onto the back there, and then from here to make that connection we've got this piping kit here, which it also shows you 1, 2, 3, 4 where those go. So I am literally going to do this in order and hopefully it all falls into plan. Right, so pop that there. Connections are all done underneath, so it is quite tricky and quite tedious. You've got to do it in a specific order. So you've got to start by doing your gas first, then they want you to do your hot and cold connections. So they're at the back there. Once you've done those, you want to do your hot connection coming off the boiler, which then goes to the back there. You've also got then do your cold connection, which loops around and connects onto there. That goes to the shunt pump, I believe. And then you've got your flow and returns, which are just two straight extension pieces. And then you've got your standard Vaillant connections just at the back there. So that's all the tails. Now we just got to figure out how we're going to get all the pipe up to there. For the gas, V's bringing it from there. So I think we're going to, from there, we're going to bring it around the side, down, and sort of leave it there for now. And then once we've got everything in place here, we'll loop it over. I've got a test point as well. So pop the test point on there and then probably just loop it just under the filter and then come up there. Which one was the flow again? This one?
The right one.
That one? Yeah. Okay, that's good because that's closest there. So we can bring probably elbow. Ooh. Just see if I've got a long street elbow. Maybe we can just elbow that straight across there. Bosh, straight into there. Hot and cold, that's the return. So the return will probably bring down maybe lower level, bring it round, and then into there. Haven't really thought about how we're going to run all the pipework just yet. We're kind of going to do it as we go along. What do you think, V? As we go along?
As we go along.
Yeah? Cool. Right, so that bit's piped up. So now we just got to start actually piping the boiler up. So the flow's done. So literally chucked a couple of levers on there. flows just coming around there, drain off point on there, and then going straight into the boiler. Next, I'm going to look at doing the hot. So our hot is this one here. So probably going to look to cut it above where this coupling is, and then bring 22 around here, down the side of this paneling, bring it across along this wall here, and then from there reduce it down to 15, shoot across, and then onto there. That's going to be stage 2. So we've just had right, we've just had a bit of lunch. I walked down here and I swallowed a mouthful of dust or cobwebs or whatever, so I'm choking again. But V's pretty much done the gas run, so it's come up from there, brought that round there, coming through here, going along there, down the right hand side of the boiler, and then from there, we haven't done anything to it yet because we don't know how low we're going to cut it, and then bring it round. Boiler, in the meantime, we've got the flow is connected. So the flow's, I've taken obviously the spar vent off at the moment because I need to press in the hot. So the flow and the hot are done. What are we going to do next? Cold.
Cold, yeah. We're going to put in the cold lever valve.
Yeah. So cold pipe is this one here. So we're going to probably cut T, bring down, lever valve, and then probably put the scale reducer. Does the scale reducer have to be within a certain distance of the boiler or anything like that?
I don't think so.
So we'll probably put the scale reducer here, and maybe even the shock arrestor. I don't know if that has to be within a certain distance because we want to try and keep that bit a little bit cleaner. So if we can put all the accessories here, I think we could put the shock arrestor here. I don't think that makes a difference. So we'll put the lever valve, scale reducer, shock arrestor, then bring that pipe round there and then into the cold. And then we'll do the return, and then the gas we're going to do last so that we know how far down to bring it. So we're making progress. We've still got to do the flue. So flue is going to go straight out there. We've got a condense pump going in as well, so we've got to keep a bit of space there to take the little condense tube out as well. Focus for today is try and get the boiler done, get the boiler piped up, get the system filled up, pressure test it overnight.
Yeah.
If we can, because there's still rads yet to go on back onto the wall. So if we, depending on what time we finish, we might get the rads on today and fill up the system and pressure test it at least overnight. So then when we come back tomorrow, we can just start flushing. We're going to aim is to try and get basically everything done over the next 2 days. But let's see how we get on. Right, so cold is done. Got the lever valve on there, shock arrestor, scale reducer. And now we are about to test it. So let's turn the water on from here. Okay. So far, so good. Right, now let's turn the water on from underneath here and let it fill up the tanks inside. Okay, that's sounding promising. So, if I remember correctly, the tanks are 15 litres. When I worked on the last one, I think I remember it was 15 litres that it's got to drain down, so obviously it's got to fill up 15 litres as well. So I'm going to let it fill up, and then I'm going to open up a hot tap, make sure we've got water flowing freely through it. The little thing that I said about changing the flow turbine, what's that noise? Oh, right, it's just the tanks filling up. So it was in here that I saw, it does actually apply to the book because we've got a VUI. Sheet one, here we go. So yeah, we've got a VUI. So if you've got a V1H, which I'm not sure, maybe it's for a different country, but can you see there? You've got to take out the flow turbine not adapter. I keep saying flow turbine adapter, that's the Worcester. You got to take out the flow turbine and replace it with the straight pipe apparently, but that doesn't apply to this one because we've got a VUI. So I haven't got to do any adaptations inside the boiler. It's literally turn it on, and now V's going to go and open up a hot tap. Make sure, obviously, get rid of all the air inside, and then make sure we've got water flowing freely because we don't want to airlock the tanks. I've heard it can get airlocked, but I think that's when it comes to draining it, not when it comes to filling it. But you never know. Let's see. Right, he's just turned on the hot tap, and all this was shaking, so you know that there was still air in there. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, you can hear all that air bubbling through the pipework. Oh. Where is he? loads of air. Yeah, thought so. It's got you all wet, coming all the way up to here. Right, so that's a good sign. So that's pushing all the air out. Once the air's all out, then we can obviously turn the tap off. And we know that the tank's all full as well. So we're just going to do that first. Yep, that's starting to flow freely now-ish. Yeah, I think that's good enough. So that's done. Now we've got the gas. The gas is pretty much in position. And then we've got the return left to do. So I think V's started making, starting the return, haven't you? So made a start on the return. So we'll get the return done, we'll get the gas done. Say hello. Right, so the boiler's all piped up. So with the gas, we've basically just taken it just behind the filter there, and then come straight onto there. So that's all done. Everything else is coming on the left-hand side, other than the gas, which is going up the right-hand side. But lever valve there, shock arrestor there, scale reducer there, a couple of drain offs there for the heating side, valves there for the heating as well, so we can lock off the filters as and when we need to, because tomorrow when we're power flushing, I'm going to use the flushing adapters on the RV2 and the MB3 or whatever it's called. I'm not sure what we're going to do after this. V's just going to put some water in my U-gauge because I'm old school, I don't like the digital ones. So he's going to go do a drop test. If that's all good, then we were planning on doing the flue today, but we need another extension, so I don't think there's any point starting half a job. Let me see where I can stand up tall. Here. And yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do after this. Might do the wiring side. Might try and get the PRV and the condensate and all that bit done, because the flue will have to do tomorrow once we've got all the other bits. And we also need, I don't think I've got enough clips, so I might get some rubber line clips for the flue as well. So we'll get all that sorted tomorrow. I think we'll probably do the wiring today and try and get that bit buttoned up. As long as the drop test is good, and we might get the radiators back on today and then fill up the system and pressure test it overnight before we flush tomorrow. But again, let's just see how we get on. So we've decided that we're going to be making a start on the wiring side. There isn't power down here, but there was a socket there on a ring circuit. So V's basically just adapting that, putting another fuse spur on there and basically extending the ring for that. And then we're going to run a cable up from around here into the boiler. In the meantime, I'm sorting out the condenser pump. Now, I've done a video on how to wire a condenser pump. I'll put a link in the description below. But in that video, I wired a condenser pump to a Worcester Bosch boiler. Now, that's like a generic way of wiring it where you're interrupting the main live to the boiler. And I said in that video, if you've got a Vaillant or other certain boilers, they've got specific terminals where you can wire in your condenser pump float switch cables. People call it different things. Some people call it a high limit cable, a float switch cable. Basically, if that ever fails and it's not able to pump the water out, you want the boiler to stop working so that it's going to stop condensing and it's going to stop basically filling up the condenser pump. Otherwise, that's just going to keep going, and then it's overflowing. Obviously, down here, we're in a basement, so if this kind of gets flooded, it's not so much of a deal. But if that's inside a house and it's overflowing, it's going to cause a big problem. So with the Vaillant, what you do is always got two cables on a condenser pump. You've got your main power cable, which is your live earth and neutral. So that's this one here, which I brought along to here. So you've got your live earth and neutral cables. They'll go into there. I haven't wired it in because we're going to wire it all in together at the end once we've got the main live coming in as well. Second cable here, this is your float switch cable, high limit cable, whatever you want to call it. Basically your trigger cable. I'm just going to call it a float switch cable, okay? Just to make it easy. Now this, you put it into this terminal here, burner off. So remove this link. We're going to also be removing the 24 volt RT link because we're going to be wiring our room stat into there. But this is not part of it. I'm talking about the condenser pump here. So we're going to just remove the burner off link, and this float switch cable just wires into there. So what would happen is right now this is going to be making a link, so we'd be getting continuity between these two cables. And now if the condenser pump ever fails, what that will do, that float switch will basically break the link between these two, which will break the link in here and tell the boiler to stop firing. So hence the burner off. So when that link is broken, the burner goes off. When the link is made or when the link is in there, the burner remains on. So that's why when you're not wiring a condense pump in, you leave that link in always. If you're wiring a condense pump, you take that link out and you wire these two cables in. And if that breaks, then that will basically kill the burner. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, if you want further clarification, have a watch of the video on how to wire a condense pump. I will put the link in the description below, so go and have a watch of that. But in the meantime, just going to carry on getting this wiring done. So the wiring is all done. So just to show you the condense pump, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory from what I said previously, but basically those two wires have gone into there, and then the other two cables, one is our power cable and the other is the condense pump power cable as well. So that's all done into there. So all the wiring inside the boiler, nothing's getting kinked or crimped. That's on, that's on. Right, that's all done. Power cable, drilled a hole through there, brought it up the back. That's going around there into the fuse spur. So power's back on, but we're not going to turn it on yet because we want to put the RV2 deaerator on. Obviously that's on at the moment, and now we're going to go and put all the radiators back on because they had all the radiators off while the decorators were obviously painting and stuff behind the walls. So luckily all the brackets and everything are in place. There's no pipework adjustment, I hope. So we're going to go around, get all the radiators back on the wall, and then fill up the system, pressure test it overnight, come back tomorrow, and got my two flushing points set up already, so I can flush straight from there. And then we can also sort out the flue and the other little bits, condense, PRV, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, I think I'd say it's been a good day so far, considering started with pretty much a blank canvas and not really having an idea where to take the pipes from. I think it's turned out to be a pretty good day. V's done a wicked job on the gas run, bringing it from the meter and sorting out the electrics for us as well. And then I've just been focusing on doing stuff here, and we sort of met in the middle. So yeah, happy days. Just got to get those radiators on. The time now is 5:45, so still not bad timing. Hopefully get the radiators on and then call it a day today. What are you saying? Rads and then call it a day? Yeah. Yeah? Cool. Right, let's get that done. There you go, you can hear it. She's whistling away. Okay, so power's on. We are currently purging the boiler, so purging the heating system. It's all full. And what we've done temporarily is we've just connected the flue onto the top there. It's not secure, it's not how we're going to do it, but the property is empty at the moment. There's no one living here. So what we've done is pre-dose the system. We're going to purge it. We're going to run the heating on a low temperature, so about 55 degrees overnight. Just let it run constantly. And then when we come back in the morning, it's just going to make life a lot more easier when it comes to flushing. So then we can just take those off. I can put my two flushing adapters on there and not flush through the boiler, but we can isolate the boiler and then flush the rest of the system. So other than that, we're all done today. There was only two radiators that need to be put back on. I thought there was all of them, but it's only two. So those two rads are back on. There's no leaks. The system has been holding pressure. We're hoping it holds pressure overnight. And yeah, then we'll see what the power flush brings in tomorrow. So have a good one, guys, and catch you in the morning. Right, back at this job, day 2. Decorators are doing their thing.
Hello, how are you good?
I'm good, how are you? V-man's here. Right, first things first, we want to check pressure. Has the pressure held? And has the boiler been running as it should be? Well, that's exactly where we left it yesterday, so that's a good sign. Boiler is still running, so that's good. Right, it's been condensing, not too much, which is fine. So, well, actually, let's turn it off from here first. Right, turn this main spare off. Today, we are going to be doing the finishing touches, so we're going to be sorting out the condense, sorting out the PRV. We're going to start by getting the flue done whilst it's still fairly early and before it gets too hot, because it is going to be warm today. I'm already sweating and it's already showing that it's 20 degrees. We're going to get the flue done first. I brought some rubber line clips, got another flue extension, etc. So we'll get that done and then we'll make a start on the rest of it. Got all the bits and bobs here. Yeah, so instead of using flue clips, which are ridiculously expensive, you got one in your head, haven't you? Yeah, these are a fraction of the price of buying official flue clips, and they do the exact same job. So we've got that bit of threaded rod, and back plates are somewhere else. So yeah, let's crack on. Right, so the flue is coming out there, as you can see. Don't know if you can see. It's coming out there. So what we're going to do, I'm getting stabbed and everything by all this. We're going to bring the whole flue, elbow coming up, then elbow coming this way. So it's going to be facing out this way, coming just past the side of this wall, so that it's all in the same air pressure zone. We could have potentially just used a plume kit on that and then just brought the plume up, but we thought just to be on the safe side, we're going to bring the whole flue up and then have it this way, because we just don't want to take any chances with it being in potential different air pressure zones. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And Vaillant do allow white on show, so we can do that. All we've got to do, they say, is you just got to silicone the clamps afterwards just to make a watertight seal. So we're going to crack on with that. We're going to work backwards. We've got our extensions. So we've got two 2-meter extensions, one 1-meter extension, couple of elbows, angle grinder or mini grinder and everything. So let's get to work. So a bit of a boo-boo on my part. I got the wrong size clips. Where I think V's put them back already. Oh, no, they're here. So I got these from Screwfix. They're 109 to 112 mil clips, so they're slightly too big for the actual flue. So we found another merchant local to us. They've got the right size, I think 97 to 103 mil clips, so they will fit. But in the meantime, we've basically got our rods and everything in place, so that's all mocked up, so we know where the flue's going to go, and then V's just going to go and grab the other clips. Just wait for traffic to die down a bit, and in the meantime we'll get started on the condense now.
Yep.
Get the condense and the PRV done, and then come back, sort out the flue, and then, well, while V's doing that, I'll then set up the power flush machine for downstairs. So the condense and PRV is all done as well now. I'll just grab the light. So on the 938, you've got the discharge coming off the pressure relief valve on the left hand side. That's for the storage tanks, and it's going into the condense pump. We've put two non-return valve ton dishes on there as well, so one for the PRV at the back. Condense is going straight into there, then the pump goes up there into 1.5 inches, and that's going to go straight out, and then V's going to sort out the exit point later on, because there's still a fair bit of work to do. You've still got to tie in a few other wastes and stuff, isn't it? So he's going to tie that all in afterwards. At least for now, we've got an exit point for the condense. So he's now going to go and grab the right size clips for the flue and get the power flush machine set up so I can start flushing. Because the system's been circulating overnight, I haven't got to let it circulate for a full hour this time. I can literally just start isolating the radiators and start getting them clean, and then start dumping the crap out. And hopefully the system will be clean. And it's 11 o'clock. Let's see how long it takes for us to get everything done. Right, so the power flush machine is all set up. So like I said, I've just used the flushing adapters for the Spirotex, so that's all on there. But have a look at the color of the water. Don't know how well you can see it there. Jet black. So yeah, I was hoping it wouldn't be, the flush wouldn't take too long, but it looks like that's the state of the water now, and it's all old rads. It's going to be pretty dirty. So let's see how we get on. I'm just waiting for it to heat up. Where are we at? We're at 20 degrees. So once that's hot enough, I'll start circulating it. So where it's already been running overnight, I'm just going to start doing each rad individually, isolating it, and then get the dump hose connector on here. I'll probably run the dump hose just out that flue void there and then round into the gully. Yeah, wish me luck with this flush. I'm not going to record the whole thing because you guys have seen me doing power flushing loads of times, so I don't want to make this video too long, but I'll just record the main bits that you want to see, which is the amount of crap coming out of it. Stay tuned. Okay, so we are nearly done with the flue. V's just going to finish off clamping it, but yeah, that's how it is. Granted, it doesn't look pretty, but it does the job now. So it's coming up from there, clipped clipped, and then coming up to there. So that way, oh, I just think that needs to be, we'll spin that before we actually screw it. So that's a little bit straighter. But yeah, that's how we can confirm that the exhaust and the air pressure zones are going to be in the same place. Although probably would have been fine if we just done a plume kit from there, but I wasn't confident or comfortable leaving it like that because, well, just because I wasn't. And with it being so low to the ground, I don't know if there would have been a difference in the air pressure zones, although technically probably not, but this way we know that it's 100% going to be okay. So once that's done, we'll just seal up the joints afterwards with a bit of silicone. Power flush is still running. We are on the upstairs radiators now, so once that's done, we'll have a look at the magnets and then we'll start dumping the stuff out the system. I think I'm gonna stop for a bit of lunch now. Right, that is the last rad. It's been cleaned, so let's turn the machine off. Isolate that and that, so it stops that from overflowing. Let's isolate that and that. Now let's get these open and see how bad they are. Right, let's see how bad. I reckon it's gonna be pretty bad. What do you reckon, V?
I think so. Considering the water is black.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Second one.
Not too bad.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a lot worse, but you said the system's had a thorough flush done, or mains flush, yeah. So apparently it's had a mains flush done or a thorough flush done. Do you know how long ago?
No.
No, we're not sure, but power flush always does the job properly, I find. Right, let's get these cleaned up and then start the dump process. Okay, so we're just dumping the first radiator, one side of it. Let's see how clean it is. Let the bubbles stop. Yep, I can see the X. Don't know how clearly it shows up on camera, but I can see the X there. Right, let's get V to reverse it. We've got a dump hose coming out here for the flue. V, reverse it! Can you hear me? V, reverse it! V, you happy?
Happy.
I'm happy. I'm happy to be out of this basement because I'm literally forever like that. My knees are like, I can just about stand up here without hitting my head everywhere. All right, everything's done. We are back up to pressure. Just put the boiler back into P0, so it's going to purge the rest of the air out of it. Flue's done, condenser's done, wiring is done. We are done. So obviously there's still a little bit of finishing touches left to do because there's a lot of work going on here. So the pipes are all going to be lagged and everything because obviously we're in a basement and blah 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 blah. Flue's yet to be sealed up as well because V's also got to do. There's a toilet stack coming down here, isn't it? So he's got to put in a pumped. Was it a sump pump? Sump pump. So that's going to make its way out there as well. Somehow. So its boiler is done in terms of it's ready to use. So obviously we don't need heating at the moment, but hot water is ready to be used. Flue's all done and everything, so all that will be buttoned up at later stage. How many weeks are you here for? Another
2.
Another 2 weeks. So in that time all the rest of the finishing touches will be done, but I've been here 2 days. My job's done. We've got the boiler done, new gas run, got the condense done, the flue done, the whole shebang. I'm out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and as always, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and more importantly, hit that little bell button. I need you guys to do that. Can't you tell them?
Till next time.
See you guys soon.